Hey, it's Adam Jusko from Proud Money. Time for another exciting edition of What's in My Wallet, where I tell you about the credit cards I will be using and not using in the quarter to come, that being the fourth quarter of 2025. In this case, people sometimes ask me, well, you talk about all these credit cards, which ones do you actually use? And that's what we cover in this video. Now, I always start with the big three when it comes to sort of those everyday things that we all purchase, groceries being the number one as far as I'm concerned, and as it has been for quite a long time, the AAA Daily Advantage Visa continues to be my go-to for groceries, getting 5% cash back on grocery store purchases, and then a lot of other good rewards on this card as well, a bunch of 3% categories, no annual fee, no foreign transaction fees, a very good card. For me, it is just my grocery store card, but it is a card that if you just wanted one for everything, you might choose. All right, next up is the gas category, where I will be using the Verizon Visa for my gas purchases in the fourth quarter. Not a ton of good options on the gas front for the fourth quarter. Oftentimes, some of the 5% rotating cards will have gas as a category, but no such luck in the fourth quarter. So I'll get 4% back on this that really I can only use to defray the expenses of my Verizon bill, which actually is pretty big considering there are multiple people in my family on that bill. So 4% on the gas. And then the third leg of the stool for me is dining out. That is where, first off, I go to the Citi Custom Cash Card, which gives you 5% cash back in the purchasing category where you spend the most each billing cycle. There is a preset list, dining out being one of them, so I will use this card just for restaurants. Now, there is a $500 cap each billing cycle on whatever that highest spend category is, so I will use this until it hits $500, and then I will move on to the Verizon Visa. And actually a couple things going on here. 4% back on restaurant purchases. Again, it's only going to go to lower the Verizon bill that I have, but the other aspect to this is I am going to be traveling outside of the country. This has no foreign transaction fees, so not only can I use it at restaurants, but I can also not get charged anything extra like I would if I were using that Citi Custom Cash or some of the other cards that I have in my wallet. So 4% back and no foreign transaction fees. Now, another thing going on as far as restaurants go in the fourth quarter is the fact that I have both the Gold and Platinum American Express cards. And now, because the Platinum card has just changed and added on some of these restaurant credits through the Resi platform, I got a lot going on here. I still have to use the, a $50 Resi credit, I believe, on the Gold card, but then I have a $100 credit to use on the Platinum card. And of course, those are only for restaurants that are within the Resi platform, but when you use the cards, you will get that coming back to you. So that's another $150 there when I use those cards at those specific restaurants. So I won't carry these necessarily for restaurants in general, but I will make sure to use them. Now, as far as that American Express Gold card goes, I probably will cancel that down the line. I got it in order to get a big bonus up front. When I get one of those big bonuses, I usually hold a card for at least 2 or 3 years. So I still have to hold that card for a while, but don't necessarily use it on an everyday basis. Now, the Platinum card has sort of changed because of the changes to the Platinum card that have just occurred, and I just did a video on all of those. But now I got a bunch of credits on this card. I already talked about the Resi credit, but then I got a $75 Lululemon credit to use in the fourth quarter. There is still the matter of the $50 Saks credit, which is the second half of the year credit. There's one in the first half, one in the second half. I haven't used the one in the second half, so I still got to buy something from Saks Fifth Avenue and get that $50 credit. And then I still have I haven't done anything with that Walmart Plus membership, which I still need to do because actually I don't really shop at Walmart, but there is Paramount Plus or Peacock that you can get as part of Walmart Plus when you have this card. So if you get the free Walmart Plus, then you would get one of those things free, and then I wouldn't have to pay for those. So that's another credit sort of with this card. Now, I won't really use the airport lounges much on the Platinum card because of the fact that usually when I travel with my wife, and these days you can't really go into a lounge unless you pay $50 for the other person to come in with you. And as far as I'm concerned, the airport lounges only okay of an experience, and when I have someone with me, I'm not going to pay $50 for them to get in also, but that is something I potentially could use. And then some other credits going on with that card as well. So a lot going on with the Platinum card that I got to make sure to nail down and use them all before the end of the year. And then in general, the Citizen Cash will be the card I use for most other things because of the fact that it gives 2% cash back on all the purchases that you put on this card. So it's sort of my catch-all card, which I suggest everybody have a catch-all card like this. Now, because I am going to be traveling outside of the US, I am going to be bringing the Capital One Venture X card with me because this is going to give me 2 points per dollar and it has no foreign transaction fees, where that Citi Double Cash card does have foreign transaction fees. However, I will say that this is about the end of the line for the Venture X for me, and I'll go back to what I was saying with the lounges with American Express. Even though I can still maybe make a case for this card, now that they are changing the lounge requirements in 2026, where you're going to have to pay extra if you bring someone with you, this is a card that is not going to make sense for me because I don't use the lounges all that much, and if I have to pay an extra $45 when I'm with my wife, which is generally who I am traveling with, well, then I don't really need this card that bad. I like the Capital One lounges, but I think lounges in general are really the best for people that travel alone, usually on business, oftentimes because of the fact that you can get in, but you don't have to pay for anyone extra, and it makes sense sort of if you're constantly in airports. If you're someone that doesn't really travel all that often, and especially if you travel with somebody else that doesn't have the lounge access and you're going to have to pay some, ridiculous amount to get them in, well, then I don't really think it makes sense. Some people will say, yeah, but think how expensive airport food is. Well, sure, but you're still spending a lot to have the card, and you're sort of justifying a lot of other things as far as I'm concerned. So this is up, I believe, in November, and it's going away. Now, as far as these other cards go that I'm going to talk about here, some of them I might actually carry in my wallet, and some of them are going to be used online, but I'll never actually physically have them with me. One of those being the Amazon Prime Visa, which is going to give me 5% back on my Amazon purchases. That's really the only time I use this card. Now, the Chase Freedom Flex card, its categories for the fourth quarter are Chase Travel, where you would end up getting 9% back on your travel purchases through Chase. I probably won't do that, actually. Then you also have department stores and Old Navy. Maybe I'll have a little spend there, but the best part of this in terms of the last quarter of the year is that in December only, you will get 5% back, or 5 points per dollar in rewards on purchases that you run through PayPal with this as your funding source. So I'm not super excited about what the Chase Freedom Flex has going on for the fourth quarter, but it'll get some use. Target Red card, 5% discount on everything. Actually, it's called the Target Circle card now, which I keep forgetting. I still have the Red card version. 5% discount on anything that you buy at Target. I haven't really shopped at Target in quite a while now, but when I do, I use that card to get that 5% discount. I have the American Airlines, the Platinum card here that I use occasionally. Like I said, I'm about to travel and I'm flying on American, so if I make any more purchases that are specific to American, I will take this card with me as well on my trip, but I don't know how much I will actually use it. Now, the American Express Blue Cash Preferred, is that what this is called? Yes, Blue Cash Preferred. This is my wife's card. I'm an authorized user. 6% back on your grocery store purchases. She uses this. Also 3% back on gas. 6% on streaming. That's one of the places where we both will sort of use this card. A decent card if you want sort of an all-in-one solution. But I probably personally won't use it a ton, even though I have it. Apple card, I have some Apple purchases, Apple Music and Apple TV that go on this. Otherwise, I don't use it for anything. Although if you are a big Apple user and you use this through Apple Pay, you could get 2% back on all your purchases. So for some people, this is a great card to have. For me, not so much. Now, I do have both of the Wells Fargo autograph cards, the regular autograph no annual fee card, and the autograph Journey that has the $95 annual fee. I probably will use the regular autograph card, probably more so than the other, because again, when I go on a trip, get 3% back on a lot of things here with no foreign transaction fees, so maybe this will be used for some transit purchases and who knows what else. As far as the Wells Fargo autograph Journey goes, This is a card that actually is pretty good if you were going to use it as maybe your only travel card, because it gives you good rewards on your flights and your hotels. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot going on with it, and I tend to get in positions that for whatever reason I don't use it as much as I thought I was going to. So at some point I probably will get rid of this card. The 5% categories on the Discover It card for the fourth quarter are Amazon.com and drugstores. I already have the Amazon Prime Visa getting 5% already on that, so I won't use this for Amazon. And I really don't shop at drugstores very often, and maybe I'll remember to bring it if I go to a drugstore, but I have a feeling it's not going to get any use in the fourth quarter. Now, the Chase Sapphire Preferred, I have talked about this many times, that I've been on the bubble with this card forever and ever. Well, I actually just closed this card, and they're changing it to the Chase Freedom Unlimited, which they convinced me to do. I don't know why they want me to do that, but it had a $17,000 credit line, so when they tried to convince me to do that, I was like, well, okay, I'll switch to that one. It's got no annual fee, but I probably won't really use that card, so I don't know why they want me to have it, to be honest with you. But anyway, I finally got to the point where I'm done with this card. Don't want to pay a $95 annual fee for it. The fact that they're taking away that bonus when you use points through the Chase Travel Portal is part of the reason I don't want it anymore. Just don't really use it all that often with the other cards I have. I still think it can be a good card for sort of beginner travelers who want some travel rewards but don't know exactly what they want. But that 25% going away off the Chase Travel when you would use your points that way, which I thought was a nice feature for me, kind of kills it. And then finally, as every quarter, I have the Amex Everyday card, and this is a card that used to be the blue from American Express way back in the day. I don't ever use it, but it has no annual fee, and it is my oldest credit line, so I continue to keep it open, and I don't know why American Express lets me continue to do it, but I never use it, and I won't use it again in the fourth quarter. So that's it. Would love to know what you are using in the fourth quarter of 2025. Which cards are going in your wallet? Which of them might get some online purchases? Which of them are you saying no to in the fourth quarter of 2025? Let me know in that comment section below. Otherwise, I thank you for watching.